Namaste and welcome to Shri and Kira Exploring the Mysteries. I am Wisdom Teacher Shri Ramka.
And I am Master Lady Kira Ra, and welcome, beloved angels. We are so excited to be here with you today. Just take a moment right now, bring your hands to your heart, take in a deep breath, and feel what is already happening on the planet right now between the 25th. This is a huge show. And so we want to welcome all of you. And we are having, I just want to say, for those of you that are watching us right now, of course, if you're watching us, that means you're either over at onenesstalkradio.com or you're over at YouTube at Official Shri and Kira or Oneness Talk Radio channels. And what you're seeing is at the bottom of our screen, we are in a brand new studio and everything was perfect. And then the minute we went live, this energy is like moving. And it's like wow,
supporting new growth.
Yeah, it's just incredible the way this is all balancing out. So we want to give a big old shout out to TFR Live. Hey, welcome everyone over there. We're glad you're listening. And also remember, you can call us. The call board is filling up pretty fast, but there's still a couple lines open.
Yes, there are.
517-208-1500. 517-208-1500. And Shri, I just, I have to take a breath into this moment and everything that's happening right now.
We are in a remarkable time that has truly softened the walls of our ego, opened the boundaries of our compassion, and brought forward the recognition, the awareness that what we are experiencing right now is beautiful expansion. It is truly an up-leveling, and all beings are receiving the blessing.
Well, and what's fascinating about this moment is that as all beings are receiving that blessing, and I have to say, I'm not enjoying the blessing of the comfort of our studio right now. I know, I just need to, there we go. Sorry, guys, because that's part of what's happening right now. It's about paying attention to that which is trying to distract you, to that which is calling out to you. This is a moment for those of you that joined Thursday night during Soul Mirrors, Be Amazed, our show that's Thursday nights at 5 p.m. Pacific, right here at TFR Live and over at Oneness Talk Radio as well, that we started talking about the celebration energy and that the celebration energy had come in between now and the 25th.
Yes.
Well, here's what's happening is that this celebration energy is an amplification. And you see, this is why today, if you're watching, we have all of these pyramids opening. It's like this infinite portal of pyramid energy that's opening right now. And the key is that it's up to you to call it in. Because if you look at this, what you see is we have lots of diamonds within diamonds, lots of pyramids within pyramids, if you really start paying attention. And as you do, what you discover is that at first, the mind form can feel overwhelmed with what it's witnessing. And so it will go into its own self-protection mode. And that is just one of the bricks that have come forward in this universal wall of protection. And so this is very much about an energy that is being called, that is being brought together. And the question is, what kind of a brick are you bringing to the wall? And how are you integrating with that wall of protection? I mean, this is a big moment. Even sharing it with you, I feel the big energy in my ears. You guys feeling that? And this is because, let us not forget that, we've been kind of in warm-up mode. I was giggling when I was on the treadmill. I was thinking about that as January, that January's been in this warm-up mode, right? It's just been on that, 2.2 miles an hour, just saying, I'm gonna be on here a while, so let's just get to know each other, right? And that's kind of been the January 1 to, really, it was this past Thursday moment. It really started happening 2 days ago. But the amplification of this, that's going to take us from here through the 25th, and then that's when the next up level is going to happen, is very much about saying, okay, this is that moment where you relax into the fact that this is going to be here. Yep. It's going to be here a while, so I'm going to relax into it. I'm going to prepare because I know that I can make it through, and I know how happy I'll be on the other end. That's this week, and that's a huge protective energy.
And here's the paradox. Your protection lies in softening the need to control.
Right.
Your protection lies in amplifying your own capacity to trust. Your protection is truly solidified, but solid isn't the right word. This is a protection of the integrity of your journey.
How about accepted?
Acceptance.
Right?
Yeah,
Instead of
yeah.
solidified, it's
Yeah.
accepted. Because remember, let's talk about 2020 in a moment in the broad stroke. I think this is really important. And one of the things that you've probably already noticed is that Shri and I are very excited after spending many weeks with lots of guidance and our own conversations and witnessing what we're witnessing on the web and what's happening. We really felt compelled with the divine support of the divine directors and all of our beloved ascended community, including you, that rather than do a monthly energy forecast that has a bunch of other people trying to copy, we're just going to bring it out week by week. That way, number one, we'll always give you the overview. That goes without saying. If you've been watching all of our shows all month long, all for the past year, you can see that we do that every week anyway. But what we've done is that you can count on at the top of the hour right now of Explore the Mysteries, and at the top of the hour tomorrow when we're on at noon Pacific with the Voice of Passionate Action, that the first 15 minutes are dedicated to what is happening right now and why that is happening right now. And then we spend time talking about how to navigate it. Right. So if you just want to know the what's happening, make sure you're here always for the first 15. If you want a little more information about how to navigate it, that's the second 15. And then the second half hour is you. It's interacting with you. It's calling in the community, the one voice with unlimited expressions. So I think it was important to share that.
Absolutely. And just to summarize it again, because we want you to understand that our intention is to serve and support. Our intention is to offer some light to that which is easily manipulated or shadowy, and in offering that light, we then trust that you will find the light within. And so every week when we're on live, the first 15 minutes is dedicated to the energy update. And then some teaching, then some sharing and interacting.
How to navigate what's coming up.
Yeah. And I want to come back to what's going on right now.
And before you do, look, Shri, you've got to look at this. Look, so everybody look between our shoulders. And if you look between our shoulders, what I realized, Shri, is what happened the minute we went live broadcast was when this appeared. And I realized it's because we're broadcasting to you from inside this crystalline cathedral.
Yes.
That's the forest that's literally right outside our window. I mean, you're staring. I mean, it's like so they are in this light bubble with us. And I think that's why we were so compelled to say this had to be today.
Like the energy of the trees,
right?
And
all
it's
like
of it.
So if you're sitting here with Shri and I right now, we are inside this beautiful blue, energetically powerhouse cathedral of crystalline light that we have all called ourselves here to celebrate being here as one voice with unlimited expressions. And as you were sharing, as I was gazing out the window, I was like, oh my gosh, we're all gazing out the window. We're being shown the protection, right?
Yes,
we are in this combined wall of protection. So I had to jump that in because it felt really fun. So
and the other
me.
thing that's fun and is for those of you watching is there is a dynamic thing that happens on the video. Sometimes it seems to get brighter, and sometimes it has more.
And
of this
there's
growth.
more trees. You see that?
Trees.
Yeah.
And so we just smile at that, which kind of leads us to the example of when we are able to be with that which is supporting us, rather than seeking to hold it off or amp it up, just to be with it.
Right.
The protection is the natural flow. It is that you are part of it. There is no need to tame it. There is no need to fear it. And this is the beauty of living in that ascended space, is that the flow and you become a sacred partner. And similarly, as the energy is granted to all beings right now, this quote-unquote wall of protection for some beings, especially those deep within density, is going to be a strengthening of their ego wall.
Well, and this is what brings us to, so the wall of protection, this wall of protection, and earlier on in the show, we already talked about how those bricks are coming together in this wall of protection. It is strengthening between now and the 25th.
Yes.
And the way I like to visualize it is that remember that the 25th is also when we have the Chinese New Year. It is the first day. It is when the year of the rat and this metal rat is coming in. Now, that is all about flow, and it is all about water. And for those of us that are rats, we are being called to say, what are you going to do? What are you, when, if not now, when, and if not you, who? And that's not just those of us who are rats, because I actually am one. And although a lot of people would probably, never mind, we won't go there.
No, it's an energy that was there at the moment of your birth.
Exactly. And this is all about flow.
Yeah.
And we talked about this a few weeks ago about how it brought us to Ganesha. And how all these beautiful Ganeshas have at their feet the little rat. And there's so many different ways that we talk about that and why the rat is there. And there are so many different interpretations. Yet, what I love is that when we get to some of the broader Ganesha experiences, when Ganesha himself ascends, then the rat is bestowed his own enlightenment and Ganesha rides him. And that happens to be the one, that actually happens to be the Murti of Ganesha that we have when you first walk into our Violet Ray Shiva studio, our altar here at Tosa Blue Mountain in Ecuador. And this is really important to remember, Shri, that the flow that is opening right now is inviting you to command it. And in that command, that wall of protection, you step inside this crystalline chamber. And that's your wall of protection, provided that you are staying ignited in the energy of the celebration. And this is what we were talking about on Soul Mirrors Thursday night.
Yeah. Yeah, the wall of protection is one of those paradoxical understandings.
It really is.
Like all things that are truly carrying spiritual potency, there is a paradox at work. And part of that paradox is grounded in the fact that we're using these words, we're using these conventions to communicate. And it's a useful, forum to communicate. However, do you need the protection? No, not if you're living in trust.
Right. Right.
But is the protection there? Yes, because you're living in trust.
But no, and I think this is where we really have to jump in, because this is such an important question, because I know a lot of you are going, well, if we're at this certain level, or these people say we don't need protection. So the first thing that Shri and I want to invite you to do is, if you're listening to this show right now, you're here because you're ready to expand, right? You're ready to really, Shri, do we have our, as a matter of fact, let's put up this graphic right there. You are ready to open your mind. If you're listening to the show, and if you came with a closed mind, it doesn't matter. You're here to open it, or it's opening, because the next step is to expand your vision. And that is what we are collectively doing right now. We are in a moment of being invited to expand our vision as we ignite our heart so that we may indeed heal the world. Now, this is important to recognize when we start talking about this wall of protection, because this wall of protection is the community of light saying, together we are better, and we are one voice. We are each our own part of this protective energy. And we recognize that as one voice, we still have unlimited expressions. Yet the voice, the collective voice with the unlimited expressions, can have enough presence to shift that, which will be portraying at the same time with a very fortress-like build the wall type of protection. So this is why it's important to recognize that if you're here listening to this show right now, then may you be really looking at the broader aspect of the blessing of what's happening.
Personal growth is just that. It means evolving past the edges that you thought defined you. It means evolving past the beliefs that you didn't realize were driving your perception.
Right.
Perception is very much influenced by our beliefs, our prejudices, and our fears.
Yes.
And so,
absolutely.
So in order to get into that enlightened joy, we need to step by step, month by month, relax the need to impose upon that which is these limiting beliefs and fears.
Well, this brings us to the up level. because this is really important, guys. We are at 2020 is an entire up-level year. So that means that everything, remember, we are in the allness, the co-creative illusion of allness, thereby all gets its voice. So as we are in that, the allness co-creates with the planetary thought body. And so the allness has been co-creating with fear. And the planetary thought body is already tipping from fear into terror, meaning that when we are afraid, when we live from being afraid, even though the truth may be screaming in our head, and even though we may be stamping in our own heart center, if we're afraid, we pull a cover over our head and say, you know what? Right here, I know I'm okay, so I don't care what's going on out there. That's what fear energy does. It actually empowers that which creates the fear. Now, imagine fear energy being pushed to the brink. So you find out that something got into your cocoon. And now within your cocoon, you're afraid. It's no longer I'm safe out here, right? Now I'm in my cocoon and I'm afraid. That's when your heart starts beating. That's when anxiety starts ruling. That's when you lose all sense of love and rationality because you can't breathe, because you feel like you're on constant alarm. And then you find that you become addicted to that state of alarm. And you become deeper and deeper immersed in that state of alarm until you're so far in that state of alarm that you've given away your soul. And you don't even know that you did it. So that's what happens when a fortress, when a wall of protection that is built out of these little shards of fear that are coming willingly from those who are afraid, and it's like paying the king to protect you, right? Yeah. That's really what it is. It's just a lovely way of creating society. And I just want to say one thing, Sri, because I know you have so much to share. But as that happens, here's what I want you all to remember. That in this moment, if you celebrate and if you stay with the compassionate open eyes, you will see before you this beautiful crystalline experience. It's really a question of which is going to have more pull to your breath, you or the fear. Yeah. And that's what I wanted to share.
No. I just wanted to underscore what you're saying. You said it so eloquently.
Oh, he's so sweet.
The insidiousness of the way that the allness interacts with the planetary thought body.
Exactly.
There's some really important points.
Agreed.
So the allness is the ability for anything to happen.
Right.
The allness is the gift from the Creator saying, here you go, play. It's an infinite world. You have infinite possibilities.
Right.
And when that begins to interact with this planetary thought body, which is the residue of all of the fear, the anger, the anxiety, all of the incompletes. So consider now great creative potential interacting with these coarser frequencies that never find completion or resolution. And the fear then becomes... It becomes part of the palette of reality.
Now, feel your breath. Talk about palette of reality.
Yeah.
Feel your breath while he's talking. I'm connecting with the energy that you are describing. And guys, you stop breathing.
Well, but this is what the mass consciousness is doing. And this is why it's so important to, number one,
25.
understand it and have compassion for it.
Yes.
So the understanding is what we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
When we realize how insidiously fear can infiltrate and become shiny and colorful. We can put fear into the brightest colors in the palette. We can put fear into any activity because we weave it in as a little edge of this won't last, this is uncertain, I can't trust it, the other shoe's about to drop, I'm not qualified, or you need to step up to this, or only this certain guru has the answer. And look at all of those conditionals.
Spiritual activism.
That are part of the fear matrix.
Us versus them. Us versus them.
And so part of what I'm excited about, which is why I'm jumping, is this is how Kali Yuga gets its force, is that
we give it to her.
This momentum. And then one person or one group or one, let's just say powerful control influence has put forward a culture of this fear.
Now, I've got to stop because this is where we have to talk about this because the reason that happens is because they're that that sure of themselves.
Yes.
There is no doubt. See, this is what you have to realize. As much as not having doubt will lift you, not having doubt will also trap you. That's why so many people are afraid. They're afraid of their own selves because they're like, is this my ego or is this truly my spiritual
not
evolution?
having doubt is part of the food for the narcissist,
right.
is it? You know, there's a lot of that going on.
And not doubting your mastery is food for the enlightened being.
Doubt in the ascended...
You see how important this is, guys?
Doubt in the ascended perspective
Right.
is humility.
Exactly.
It isn't about doubting who you are. It's about
Exactly.
having the humility to recognize that there is a greater force at work. There are variables.
And that's tomorrow's show. Tomorrow's show is all about, I hope you're celebrating, and we're going to talk about that in the second half of the show as well, because there's a lot to celebrate. And the humility that is the balancing presence of that. And this is why, Shri, I was just sharing with that voice, when you look at, if you were to really say, okay, I'm going to anchor in my heart center. I'm going to let go of the fear in this one moment, right? And you do this so brilliantly, and we teach a lot of this in navigating the inner matrix. But, in this moment, I trust myself. Yeah. We even have a practice called SAFE, and how to get yourself safe like that. And when we do that, then we have the ability to start really paying attention. And when we pay attention, we begin to see that the reason that other voice is having so much power is because that other voice is very confident in itself. Mm-hmm. Even if the voice is screaming lies, such as the ego will do to ourselves, right?
So I got to...
this is really important.
There's so many tidbits that just...
you see how valuable this is.
And so it's one thing to be confident. It's
right.
another thing to believe your own spin.
That's the key. That's the discernment between third dimension and fifth.
To the point of excluding other information or other beings. So
us versus them.
There is a fine line
exactly.
as we transit from a sense of empowerment to a sense of egoism.
Right.
And
that is the 18th through the 25th. That is why right now this wall of protection, the wall of protection, my angels, is the gift you build yourself. It is your wall. The wall of protection is the wisdom that you say yes to, the tools, the spiritual tools that you have worked with that are now in front of you, the choice of saying, I think I'm going to enjoy hanging out in this crystalline experience, or I think I'm really going to enjoy owning my density. But either way, that wall is being opened and supported. This is kind of what our wall looks like, right? It's saying we're just going to sit right here in this consciousness and absolutely witness the witness witnessing. And as we do that, we become active in our divine presence and the flow. Remember, 2020, I've been sharing this through the whole show. We are in a moment of massive ascension energy up-leveling because 2020 is really, it's a heart. Remember, it's very much a heartbeat. It's healing. It's this dance of the dragonflies. And so there is so much rich opportunity. And 2020 isn't giving us a ready, set, go opportunity. No. It's here we are. No. And so we are right now, we've already hit one up-level moment, and that was on the 10th during that extraordinary, exquisite full moon lunar eclipse. Well, we're hitting the next up-level moment on the 25th of January. And there are up-level moments contained within every month this year. And some of the months have 2 and 3. And we're going to be giving all of these to you in real time. And we're going to be going through the energy flows of the year again in the second half of the show. Because right now, it is a moment of so much celebration. I mean, this is pop the corks, have the dance party, let it rip, remember who you are, claim your joy moment.
Yeah.
And the wall of protection is also saying, and remember that this celebration carries with it great humility. And that's tomorrow's show, and because there's so much happening.
There is. And the qualities of the state of being that will optimize the gift of this time need a little discussion.
Right.
Because who blocks us from our growth? You do, your mind, your perceptions, your beliefs.
That sly pirate known as the mind.
The mind is a sly pirate.
Boy, does it want to stop you right now.
And I tell you what, it has its... Who's that? What's Robin the Batman? You know, it's my colleague.
Right.
Anyway, the mind's colleague is the ego, and
Ward.
The two of them, the two of them dance together to create this illusion of strength and power that is really pretty hollow. And both are useful. And this is why it's so hard sometimes to discern where am I at the moment. It's not about judging where you're at. It's about getting clear what your next step is. Where you're at helps you understand the next step. However, when we're in flow, we're just stepping on. It's just happening, and we get to watch. And then the mind is in the observer mode, and it can be very much a useful tool for cultivating wisdom.
And that's the gift, is it not? Because no matter what the experience is, you are still going to cultivate the wisdom of the experience. All experience is wisdom. It's just when we give ourselves the opportunity to awaken into the awareness of that we consciously move through the experience, thereby continually reaffirming our choices. And that is what's happening on the planet right now in real time, is that through this wall of protection that we're going to be talking about all weekend, and there's a lot more to share about, but through this wall of protection that has kind of been offered to us again in a new way, we are all being gifted with the opportunity to say yes. And it's just about seeing it through our eyes of awareness. Celebrating this moment is here through our clarity, release of doubt and fear. And it's the release of the doubt and fear of who you are, of being in the dance of thank you. I remember you. I remember this. I remember that. And it doesn't have to be specifics. You know, that's the one thing I want to share is some people get really hung up and go, but I don't remember my name or blah, blah, blah. It's not about that. It's a presence. It's a presence that goes outside of the need of the day-to-day details. That's actually one of the ways that you know that the ego has relaxed and that the humility has come forward.
So you mentioned the phrase releasing doubt and fear.
Yeah.
A lot of people go, yeah, I'd like some of that.
Yeah, please.
You know? And so I just wanted to put a pin on that. And as I put a pin on that, we say, hey, TFR Live, go enjoy your commercial. We'll be here when you come back.
And we have a lot of show to go.
But this thing about doubt and fear, one of the first steps, one of the first practical things you can do is not do battle with your doubt and fear, to instead make space for that which is peaceful, loving, and empowered joy.
Yes.
How do we make that space? Through effective spiritual practices. And there's so many spiritual practices you're going to find at SriAnkira.com. The key is the more that you have engaged the habit of being afraid, the pain of the pain.
That addiction, it's a physical addiction as well as a mental, emotional, and spiritual.
Yeah, the habit of being in pain, the habit of being afraid and having anxiety becomes the juice for sustaining yourself.
Exactly.
It's a little perverse, a little bit tragic, but
it's absolutely true.
Well, or let's give you a different example. The kids that are constantly on the games are constantly getting an adrenaline rush, are constantly getting little micro successes. It's a little bit like the slot machines in Vegas. There's constant stimulation. And what this does is it takes you away from being consciously connected to the essence of who you are. And you're over in a little artificial reality. Well, your fear, your doubt, your anxiety are just that. A little artificial reality that a lot of people have said, I'll sign up for that one.
But you're playing it as much as anybody who's playing a game.
Yeah.
Because this is all a game.
It is a 100% distraction.
Absolutely.
That a lot of people think that is all there is.
Right.
And that's why I use the word it's tragic, because it's not all there is. It's a possibility and a way to live. The thing that I have learned, and Kira and I have learned, is there is a peaceful, joy-filled center that will embrace that and also take you through that into a far more spacious ascended state.
Well, and I want to jump in and say, Sri, that in as I experience what you're sharing, what I know is that if we were to use the word tragedy, it would only be to know that we are asking to experience tragedy so that we can become even more aware, so that we may continue to wake up, so that even words, a lot of people often say, why would God allow that? Why would we create this? Why would we do this? Because number one, you can't answer that question with a linear brain.
That's true.
Okay. I mean, that's where judgment comes in. That's where all of those energies come in. And so how these energies have come to be is because we are loved so much that in the experience of the allness, there's no fine print in that. There's no little thing that says the allness can have this experience except this, and this.
It's all.
Exactly. And it is actually awakening through the good, the bad, the ugly, all of that. It is awakening through that and seeing the greater vision of that ignites the compassion within, that assists us to activate this physical body into its up-leveled ascended presence, which is what 2020 is asking you to do, whereby your body will start healing, it will start normalizing, and the soul starts really coming forward to lead the way. So that's really the gift that you can offer to yourself in this moment right now is, am I ready to invite this moment in? Because
Yes.
it is an up-level moment. And to recognize that there is, with all expression, light and dark, positive and negative, right? Up, down, left, right. That is the supporting framework that we dance within.
Well, that is this world of experience.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
And
Part of why you are here now.
and part of the game is that when you say, I've had enough of certain types of experience,
You're
and
commanding.
we were talking about the fear and the anxiety,
Right.
when we say, enough,
Right.
enough of that,
Right.
then to take action on that decision to say enough of it is to create space for that which you prefer, which is the peace, the love, and the joy.
Wow.
And to do the practices that help you cut through the fog, that help
Right.
you cut through the habit. Because once we do the practices and cultivate that spaciousness, that opening, we begin to go, wait a minute, that's home. This other stuff is the movie theater.
Yeah.
It is the Game Boy thing.
Yeah.
And then we can more easily come back without the practice. But the practices are essential in making the transition.
And this is why, I love what you're sharing. This is why the breath, guys. I want you to really come back to your breath. And this was really, for me, one of the most powerful revelations that came forward for me personally on January 10th during the Temescal 10. There were 10 women of us that were in the Temescal here on January 10th at the exact moment of the peak of the eclipse. And we each really were very blessed that this was, I really felt that there were millions and millions of you with us, that we were really holding all together. And what was so shown to me was that the more that we connect with our breath right now, the deeper we do consciousness, the deeper we honor our breath, the faster we can anchor all of this beautiful vital energy without the mind of form freaking out. And, please download our app. If you do not yet have our app, Spiritual Mastery with Sri and Kara, Apple, Android, iPad, tablet, phone, all devices, download the app. And in that app, free, my beloved Sri Ramka teaches you the Om Aum breath practice. If ever there was a moment with all the up-leveling that's happening, the body is going to be the number one thief. And the ego wants the body afraid because the fear in the physical body feeds the ego to literally, as Archangel Zadkiel says, become a sly pirate and stop you from what is literally set up, ready to go, the most extraordinary, exquisite moment you could call into your life. And that's what this week is about. It's about remembering yourself as you remember that which is before you. And then that 25th is the next up-level window. We'll be talking about that next Saturday live on this show.
It is so important that we love ourselves enough to give a little tap on the heart and say, hello, I'm here.
Hello, I'm here.
And to anchor the peacefulness that comes with that. Because as we are able to claim that and identify with it and say, this is my truth, to have a peaceful heart, then we send that wave out that not only softens our own anxiety, it sends a coherent wave of energy out, and it begins to touch others who can then choose to harmonize with it. let's harmonize a little more, huh?
Oh, I think we are harmonizing. But Sri, speaking of harmonizing, why don't we welcome in some of these beautiful beings that have been waiting on hold so long? And
Yeah.
all right, so let's go ahead and say hello. We're going to go, where are we going, Shri?
Oh, I am seeing lots of choices.
Okay, we're going to Massachusetts, it looks like. Okay, namaste, Massachusetts. Welcome.
Namaste, Sue and Kira.
Hi, sweetheart. Namaste.
Hi. Thank you so much for taking my call. This is the third time we've connected, and the first that I'm not just like crying after you guys have been so helpful. Thank you for all that you do. I just wanted to comment on like how much I've been feeling the intensity just like increasing, and especially after the January 10th, it's just become so difficult, so hard, but also witnessing so many miracles happening and holding on to all the teachings. It's just been so helpful. And if you could give me a meaningful reading, I'll be very grateful. Thank you.
Oh, well, sweetheart, first of all, I know Shri and I are both feeling your heart.
Yeah.
As you were sharing, I literally was holding my breath, and I felt like on my right across, my heart center, it just felt like almost somebody was sitting on my chest. And as you were talking, I was just breathing up and breathing in with you. And sweetheart, the one thing that all of these, they're so beautiful. It's hard for me to describe. It's like you have all these sets of wings around you. And there's these beings are like all lined up, but all I'm seeing is 12 sets of wings. And they go from just above your head all the way down to just below your feet. And they're every color and butterflies and angels and all types of different birds and mythical creatures, even dragon wings I'm seeing at the bottom. And what they're all saying is, we are all here with you now. There is nothing you are missing. There is nothing you have lost, and there is nothing you have forgotten. All we ask you to do is stand up straight and feel us and begin to remember you can fly. And so it is.
Thank you so much. Namaste.
Namaste, my love. And I don't know about you, but I think we all need a breath. I know I do.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you really feel that? That
that's
ignition,
very touching.
And that's this week, guys. This week is about celebration. I mean, imagine, every one of these beautiful callers is always a surrogate for everybody else. And so I love that we've started off with, remember you can fly. This week, celebrate. I mean, seriously, I was talking to, Shri was on Thursday nights, he's on the other side of the camera producing the show. And, we were talking about how it's like, we're having a dance party, just Shri and I. We're going to go down to our new yoga studio. We're going to crank up the music. That's what this night is about. And we'll tell you all about it tomorrow. Shri and Kira, the Voice of Passionate Action at noon Pacific time on Sundays. And Shri, how would you like to proceed? Should we share more? Should we invite in more of these amazing beings?
I'd love to connect with another person because I always feel expanded.
Let's do that then. So we're going to go to, does it look like, where are we going? Illinois? No, Canada. I'm sorry. We're going to Canada. Namaste, Canada.
Namaste, Shri and Kira.
Hi.
This is Yvonne in Vancouver, and I am thrilled with being with you today, and thank you very much for taking my call.
Our pleasure.
Welcome.
It's wonderful to connect with you.
We just got out of a blizzard outside, a snow blizzard that sent our whole city in chaos. And in that, it gave me a whole day to zero in on what I am going through internally. And it was a calming day, a connecting day, a day where I practiced all of the meditations on the app and enjoyed all of them. And it gives me so much strength. Nice. In a time when there are many challenges with fear and doubt, absolutely. And so I'd like to ask for a mini soul reading and really ask for that protection to come to me. I feel at times like I'm getting interferences that are unwelcome and challenges that are being presented to me. Not that I can't handle them, but it sure feels nice when I know I have tools at hand.
Yeah. Wow. Well, sweetheart, first breathe. And as you were sharing, they were showing me that you have your wall of protection is very much like a portal. And what they're showing me is that it's unified behind you. It's like you have this strong drive, this strong anchored knowing of where you're going and what you are. That's anchored. And it comes around you, but it's like it's stopping like right where the cosmic prime meridians are. It's so you have this opening all in the front that is just being bombarded. And it's like being in an elevator and hitting close the door, and it keeps reopening when it hits like 1 inch right before it closes. And what they're saying is that there is within you, it's so funny. They're giving me so many words at once. They're saying it's a hesitancy, it is a doubt, it is a fear that is absolutely not real, that is being fed well by the illusion. They're saying that all the time that you take processing is actually feeding your ego, because in those minutes, your ego has won. Your ego has said, see, you're not ready. You have to do all of this. See, you can't hold it. You have to do all of this. And they're saying, all you need to do is stand up, bring a hand to your heart, and declare, I am ready. And it's like this dome comes together, and I'm seeing this huge ignition of light. And it's like all of a sudden, all these lights start going on, and you discover everything that's been right in front of you and all the puzzle pieces line up. And so get ready. It's an up-level year.
Woohoo! Wow, well, I'm ready.
Yes, you are.
Namaste. Many
Thank you,
blessings.
sweetheart. You are ready. You know what's so funny is as you just said that, I felt you like a comet inside of that portal. And it's like all of this. I mean, dance party today. Turn on that music and enjoy yourself. We love you, honey. Namaste.
Thank you. I love you.
Thank you, honey. Namaste. Bye-bye. Whew, wow. You know, Shri, I just want to breathe into that.
Yeah.
I really do.
Well, I was just thinking, let's take a moment together and just
Let's do
a
that.
little practice in a new way.
Okay, I'm loving that.
As we bring our hands to our hearts, I invite you, if it's safe to do so, to participate in this way. Bring a hand or both hands to your heart. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply. And on the next breath, just think or say, I am here. I am here. And as the mind relaxes its distraction, and you notice the sensations of the breath entering your chest, feel your heart center being stimulated, being encouraged with the truth. I am here. And notice the peacefulness expanding with this one line from the mantra of self-ascension. Done with presence, said with presence, engaged as truth. I am here. Breathe. Experience the truth. I am here. And in your own time, as you're ready, allow your eyes to open and notice that the world around you is just a little brighter, a little easier. I notice our camera got brighter. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, it is. Oh, wow. You guys are illuminated. I love it. Oh, Shri, my heart. I'm just breathing into my heart right now. And see, this is part of the celebration as well. through that beautiful journey, how many of you in just the I am here,
Yes.
right? Let's put up, Shri, the open your mind graphic again, so that we can just remind you that in this up-leveled energy of right now, I am here is actually the invitation that opens your mind.
Yes.
It begins with I am here. It's like a whisper into your divine presence. And as we open our mind and as we say yes to I am here, you can even continue this process then with I am ready. Because it relaxes the divine presence, and it also relaxes the physical form to be available so that you can actually expand your vision. And from there, I am open as you ignite your ascended heart frequency, and together we heal the world. And as you keep breathing, we want to also show you the energy flows of this moment right now. And so if you're not watching us, we will explain to you that we have just put up the calendar for the 2020 Year of Mastery Experience. And what it's showing, as you'll see in the legend, is that we are experiencing in 2020 through this dance of the dragonflies, profound shift, visionary transformation through timeline adaptation, and we are awakening to self-ascension, meaning that there is a energy pulse wave. That is, the great awakening is upon us. It's not, the waves of awakening begin right now as long as we do what we are here to do.
And to do what we are here to do means to get out of your own way. We are in a time of profound shift. And these first 2 months of this year, and then we get to revisit that again in September, are the bookends for the July, August, December period. And if you look at the graphic, when we say profound shift, these are moments of, that it is there's a tangible movement, a tangible empowerment, a tangible opportunity.
Exactly.
And it's not to diminish the opportunity that's always there. It's just to say there is an emphasis at work in these blocks of energy, these boundaries.
And these are kind of the bookends of the up-level experience.
Yeah.
And so this is really important to recognize that if you look at March through June, and then also October and November, those months, and I'm really excited, Shri, that, of course, March, because it's the first one in the series, is when we're doing our Cosmic Origins here at Tosa Blue Mountain. And guys, we do that at the equinox, so you want to come join us, but that bookend is going to be March and then back into September, so you see how that energy is going to rotate. And so we are at an extraordinary opportunity this week right now to say yes in this profound shift, to say that when we bring our awakened awareness, we are up-leveling. And as we say yes to our own awakened awareness up-leveling, then we are able to support all those that are currently in form. There is going to be a mass awakening during this time. And that mass awakening is not just to enlighten perspectives. There is, I don't want to say going to, because even that's wrong. There is a mass awakening that we are in the process of right now, a massive illumination. Every being is going through that illumination moment. So therefore, angels, it means that it's not just those that are going to be popping into ascension awareness, ascension consciousness. You have density consciousness, you have spiritual activism, everything.
And there's nuances within every strata.
Exactly. Awakened awareness is not limited within the allness.
So awakened awareness really means that each person is expanding from where they are.
Exactly.
And the gateway to full enlightenment is always available. The question is, are we willing to ride that? Well,
especially during the strong moments, because this moment right now, and again, this really began on Thursday, but we're in this heightened state moving. I just lost my breath even talking about it. It's so heightened right now through the 25th. Strong moments. So if they're going to be strong moments, let them be strongly joy-filled. Let them be strongly supportive. Let them be strongly miraculous and go, wow, look at how this is coming together. Look at how this, and this, and all the puzzle pieces are working and everything's being supported. That's what this crystalline chamber is about. just as strong is going to be the density reflection of that, because everything, right? So the gift, and going all the way back to what we talked about in the beginning of the show, is that when the strong voices of negativity and polarity seem to be, quote, winning, that's only because they have more confidence in who they are and what they're doing than you do. And the more confidence that we have, meaning all of us who have been either dismissed or you've been told you're crazy, or we could go through the litany of what you go through to truly awaken. But when you get on the other side, you can only love those that tried to stop you because they honestly can't understand. And when you are here, one of the things that keeps pulling you back and keeps you afraid and keeps you broke and keeps you unhappy is that you still have not released the doubt of the full presence of who you are. Somewhere deep inside of you, you still believe whatever has been thrown at you. Well, I can tell you right now, those that are making the negative voice so visible have no doubt. They are very clear on who they are. When we are all just as clear, then our voice becomes equally heard. That's the invitation of the up level. That's what 2020 is about.
And there's a wonderful discernment that comes forward as you gain an experience with this.
Right.
When your emotional body lines up with your ego, then there is a certain charisma that happens. You can call it a self-confidence.
I call it presence. It's presence, divine presence.
But the emotional body and the ego are one level of charisma, of that attractive energy. When our ego and our minds line up with our soul's energy, allowing the soul to lead, there is a different type of energetic at work that is indeed charismatic and attractive. However, it carries with it the love and the compassion. That help keep the fifth dimensional anchor ship alive and present. One of the things I want to remind myself, so I'll say it to you.
And to me, I hope.
And to you.
All right.
Is that when we are truly in that fifth dimensional presence of compassion. And that compassion means divine respect for all. When we are there, the body will come around and give you all the energy, health, and vitality that you require in order to keep doing it.
Yeah.
Because when we're in that compassion, we're lined up with why we took birth.
Exactly.
And so the body says, okay, I'm your partner. Let's go. And let's be it. And let's do it. Because compassion is the signal that you have arrived at that foundation of the ascended state.
And that's when you become the witness of the witness. That's when that compassionate energy, and that's why we had just had that graphic up for you, it offers you the opportunity to really have expanded your vision, right? To really have opened your eyes and ignited and saying yes to that which you truly are. And in the yes, the fear subsides and the soul soars. And Shri, what you were sharing, I think is so important, because this is also part of what was shared in that PDF from the Divine Directors, which is reverse aging is real, guys, and vitality and restoration. Shri and I have been modeling that. And we know that part of the gift that we have been blessed with is living here at Tosa Blue Mountain Retreat in Ecuador. And check it out, tosabluemountain.com. Come spend time here. You want to reverse age? You want to have better health? You want to really take that spirituality into that deep moment? Come finish that book you've been trying to write. This is the inspired place. It really is. And what I know is true is that the physical body will restore and rejuvenate as long as, and this is right out of the PDF, the mission and the body serve, meaning that fifth dimensional capacity is forefront. It is your life. And that is a pretty amazing experience that we have been living, and that is available for every being that wants to hold that space. But it really does. And I want to put up a graphic that we've had here for a little while. I want to just remind you that when people are afraid, they will give away their power. Right? We talked about that earlier on. When people are terrified, they will give away their soul. And this came in from the divine directors. And the one thing that Shri and I certainly don't need to share with you is that it's very easy to witness that there's a lot of soul giving right now. A lot of souls are being voluntarily surrendered. And so why not, through the blessing and the celebration of the universe saying, hey, we're right here and this is your moment, why not lift up into that celebration, unify that one voice with unlimited expressions, and come forward and say, you know what, we're here too, and this is a rockin' party, why not?
I just want to segue here, because part of the unification, part of the one voice, part of the recognition is uncovering some of the messages from the masters that have been imprinted and encoded in sacred texts and symbols. And this is why Kira felt called to bring forward the Bhagavad Gita class.
The keys of ascension that are within it.
And so to be able to unlock the ascended messages while also taking in a truly magnificent, timeless text.
Thank you, Shri.
Kira's mastery of this is incredible. I encourage you. This is kind of like, get on board, because it's happening first week of February. Get your place, and just go to ShriAkira.com, click on that, and learn more about it. It's truly a wonderful way to support you for 9 weeks.
Yeah, and we have a little video there you can watch, but thank you to all of you that have already registered. I'm so honored and really excited that we're doing this together. And Shri, how does this show go this fast?
I tell you what.
I mean, we have 1 minute? Is that right?
Yeah, we got almost 2.
Okay,
but every second is
almost 2.
getting less.
It is. And so, beloved ones, let us just share with you again. This is really important. The 18th through the 25th is the moment where this wall of protection, this invitation has been sent. What are you doing with it? And remember, tomorrow we are on the air at noon Pacific time, when we are going to dive even further into what's going on.
Yes.
And be with us at onenesstalkradio.com. Be with us over at YouTube at Official Shri and Kira. And of course, bbsradio.com.
And so, once again, as we're coming to a close for this interactive moment, I just want to invite you to remember that you hold the keys.
Yes, you do.
And it's time to unlock the doors of perception so that you can enjoy the truth that is inside of you. And as we did earlier, let's take a moment together right now. You've got the time. You're here.
Let's do it.
Hand on heart. Big breath in. I am here.
I am here.
I am ready.
I am ready.
I am open.
I am open.
Guide me.
Guide me.
And in those 4 declarations, you will find a gateway to ever-deepening peace, love, and joy. And yes, the guidance will become ever more clear. Beloved ones, we have delighted to be with you, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow at noon Pacific at Shri and Kira Live. And until then, breathe deeply, trust, and know that all is truly well.
Namaste.